Shout out Wright's Barbecue. They didn't pay us any money, but it's really good. Hello and welcome back to the Pinkbike Field Test. We're here in the office after a couple weeks of testing fields, and today we're going to talk about the forbidden Druid CorE E1.
It's Forbidden's first foray into e-mountain bikes, and it's a pretty interesting one. It's 150 mils of rear wheel travel, 160 mils of front wheel travel, rolling on their high pivot trifecta suspension design. It's mixed wheels only, and it is rolling on that Avinox drive unit. So one of the two Avinox test bikes we had, 800 watt hour battery, although you can put in a 600, and this is kind of the beefed up version. They also have the light, which is the same frame, lower travel, and a smaller battery. Came in at 50 pounds even, or 22.7 kilograms.
We should get into the ride impressions, starting
Yes.
things off here. It's a high pivot, it's a forbidden. They have a pretty unique approach to geometry, and I think that comes out on trail. The bike is pretty long in the wheelbase, despite having not the longest reach. It's got a pretty high stack. I'd say overall, it's a very central and balanced feeling ride, and one that is like stability forward. Like that is really the name of the game here.
Yeah, definitely the ethos has always been like balanced geometry for any size rider, and I think they take it to the most extreme level where it's almost like a ratio of front center to rear center. They've gone a little different with these e-bikes compared to the regular lineup, where the stack is quite high, as you said, and they're kind of going for more of that like diagonal line between your feet and your bars, growing proportionally with the rear end.
Oh, sure. Okay.
But yeah, I would say that the stack height is pretty noticeable. Like when you first get on it, it feels like a scooter at first, and the rear ends are very long. But I tried, and I could not push out the front end like very easily. Like
I did actually crash on this bike because I watched the front end, but that might have been user error.
Was that on our big ride?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
No, that was, I think, user error more than anything else. No, I mean, in like typical riding, yeah, as you said, like the front end is just glued to the ground. You can still manual it, like pop the bike.
It's hard to manual, I want to be clear.
Yeah, but you can like, if you really put your back into it, you can get it up there, but.
Right, you are.
Yeah, I mean, I found this bike was like, it's not as much of a big dumb truck as you might fear a really long e-bike to be.
Yeah.
It's like, you can still like pop off stuff and have a fun time, but it's definitely indexing more on the like stability side of things.
Yeah, for sure. I think it kind of gets balanced out because the suspension is quite progressive, so it does feel very like lively and kind of energetic, and it's quite supple off kind of the initial stroke, and then there's a really kind of firm bottom that is confidence inspiring, I would say.
Yeah.
But yeah, it doesn't, for like a high pivot bike with crazy kind of numbers, it doesn't feel like a boat or anything like that.
No, and I'd also say it like climbs particularly well, partially because the Avinox just has like so much power behind it, but also the high pivot does help in that situation when you're pedaling up over rough stuff in particular. It won our little like climb race challenge, and partially that's the motor, but I think it also has a lot to do with the fact that the rear wheel is just getting out of the way even while you're pedaling up stuff. So it's like high anti-squat plus the wheels getting out of the way, which makes for a bike that just kind of like plows uphill as well as down. You know, I think for me, I'm not always sold on the high pivot, growing rear end feeling, but I found this bike pretty easy to get used to in the scheme of things. So whether that's due to like the front end being high and like easy to control, or whether it's just like the package working for itself, I don't know, but I was happy with it.
Yeah, other than the stack being kind of like a bit jarring when you first get on it, it still like doesn't take long to feel super comfortable on the bike, and you are very balanced in the middle. So that's kind of the ride impressions.
I think so. I mean, it's like there's a lot going on here, but in the scheme of things, it's just like I feel like they've done a good job of putting together all the ingredients to get you down the hill quickly. In the scheme of stuff we have on test here, there's not a lot of adjustment to talk about here. Mixed wheel only, no geo adjustment. I'd say a pretty simple frame layout. Like obviously the like trifecta layout has changed for the e-bikes versus the pedal bikes. It's like a little bit simpler, I would say.
I think they've gone more conventional, like it's a 4-bar with an idler.
We didn't have any issues with the drivetrain because of the idler pulley, so that's always nice. Yeah, I mean, it's like a robust frame. It's got really nice cable management, I would say that. Like initially I noticed some rattling in the cables and all I had to do was like loosen them, pull the clamps tight, and then it was dead silent. So like kudos to them on that front. That's like, there's a lot going on inside an e-bike in terms of packaging, and this was like probably the quietest we had, so.
Yeah, and more on that livability, I will say these Avinox bikes, I think, have the best kind of user experience as far as the touchscreen in the frame and the app and the buttons. Like, I think they've really thought it out, and it's pretty impressive. You don't even really need to use your phone or the app. Like the Bosch system, you do definitely need to kind of use your phone here and there.
If you want to change settings.
True,
So
yeah.
it just runs out of the box, but if you want to customize stuff, yeah, you do need your phone.
Yeah, there's a whole load of kind of smart features built into the Avinox system that, you know, maybe you want that or maybe you don't, but it's there and you can do all sorts of cool things. It has like a GPS built in, it can track your rides. It can turn on your DJI blender back home just by voice command. So yeah, but seriously, the user interface is
It's cool.
pretty impressive and definitely, I think, miles ahead of Bosch.
Yeah, and I would say that for me, the like on trail, the most impressive thing is the coast shift. I think they call it
Yes.
auto shift, which is kind of confusing, but it's like you shift gears, the drivetrain automatically spins and puts you in the right cog, and then you're like ready for a climb or a descent or a jump, whatever. Like you can prepare for sections of trail while you're going down.
Yeah, it's actually a really useful feature once you figure out that it's something you can do. And like, yeah, you can kind of plan for a big hill coming up and shift into the right gear, and yeah, it's cool.
This bike is up there with the best descenders. I think we, over and over again, through all the challenges, it was like this and the Yeti, basically. We're at the top.
Yeah.
And, you know, burying the lead a little bit, but like those two bikes were duking it out for like most composed, most capable, most confident, the 3 Cs, if you will. And this bike was just really impressive on that front. Really good on the descents. I do think the frame is really high quality. Like all the little details seem to have been thought of. And though there isn't as much adjustment as some of the other bikes, what you get is quite good.
All right, putting me on the spot here. It was very good. I actually, I'm struggling to find too many. It is fairly expensive. I think that's something worth noting.
I think the like high pivot feel isn't for everybody. Like
Yeah.
if you're looking for like a fun, like lively bike, probably not the best bet.
Yeah, but then the Norco I thought was like actually very fun, and it's still a high pivot, but it's just
I know,
got
but
a
it's
shorter
like,
rear end.
that's just it. It's
Yeah.
like the Forbidden's like long and it grows.
Yeah.
So it's just, it is much more about stability than it is like.
One other thing was possibly the battery usage of the Avinox system. We didn't really get to super scientifically test this out. I mean, I'm a bigger guy than you, and
Yeah.
you zapped through
Way faster.
way more
Yeah.
battery than I did on the Bosch system.
Yeah, we went for our big ride. He was on the Yeti, I was on the Forbidden. I'm like 40 pounds lighter than you, and I killed the battery despite being pretty,
Similar modes of
yeah,
assistance.
like I was pretty cautious with the battery use. Anyway, battery isn't as efficient.
Yeah, I mean, it's got a ton of power, but I think it's also thirsty to access that power.
Yeah.
So for most rides, the 800's still tons of juice, but something to keep in mind if you're going on a lot of long rides, that this is a bit of a thirstier system.
For sure. This is a really capable bike. You know, we talked about the Crestline being more fun than the travel numbers would indicate, and I think the Forbidden is more capable than the travel numbers would indicate. Like 150, 160, you're like, oh, it's an all mountain bike, kind of do it all. This is like really, really composed. It's an impressive descender.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it's really well thought out, and like they've really sweated the details on this. And I think it's for someone who wants like kind of the cutting edge, like it's kind of got the new exciting motor system. It's got the cool high pivot tech and size specific. It's like the future e-bike.
It's checking all the commenters' boxes, if
For sure.
anything.
So I think if you want something that's like spare no expense, something very high quality and kind of at the cutting edge of new eMTB tech, then this would be a good option.
As for all the comparisons, how these bikes trick out in our long-term tests, head over to the episodes. And then if you don't want to think about e-bikes anymore, head over to Matt and Mike talking about the trail bikes. And for everything else, head to the homepage. We've got articles about all these things and more. See you soon.